Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast morning show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game playing veteran. Why do I mess that up every time? Anyway, it is July 26th, 2024. I just woke up. I really did. I crazy. I usually wake up early on my own, but like I woke up and I have this clock that projects the time on the roof, the ceiling. So I'm looking up and I'm like, oh man. Morning for sure. Autonomous. Oh man, it is a morning, and it is a Friday morning, and it's the day after Deadpool and Wolverine comes out. Didn't get to see it yesterday. We'll be seeing it today. Actually, can't wait. Yeah. What else do we have? Yesterday I did the Gundam Explained show with Steven and Midnight Hatter. That was a lot of fun. Check that out if you haven't. And then Steven's show the day before. And then Free Speech Geek was Monday, which will be this Monday. So that's cool. So yeah, if you want some more neat discussion about stuff, there you go. I can't believe I just woke up. Normally don't do this. I had a crazy week. A lot of work and non-work stuff happened that kind of just, I think then by Friday, I'm just tired. And it's very interesting. Like if I know that there's stuff I have to do in the morning, my body will wake up. It's very interesting. It's almost like I've gotten to the point to where I can, like I know intention. So by the time I get to bed, when I wake up, my body knows when to get up. Because yesterday I had to wake up even earlier, and I was just awake ahead of time. Crazy how that works, right? So what are we going to get in today? I don't know, because I'm just now pulling up everything, but it's going to be fun. Let me share real quick a screen here. Jim Killex, sup? Good to see you this morning on this Friday, fancy Friday. All right. So looking at the Exophase, I don't even think I have anything on here. That's right. I did play Half-Life Alyx yesterday. But yeah, just playing more of Half-Life Alyx. Amazing game. Great game. Like if there was a Star Wars VR game with that setup, it would be incredible. Because Half-Life Alyx just plays like Half-Life, the first person shooter. And one of the main differences is, when you have your glove things that you wear, you can grab objects in the world like with the Force and pull it to you. So like there's already a lot that can be done when it comes to the Force. Now when I played the Vader Immortal, but it was more of a showcase simulator, I guess. It was neat, but it wasn't really, there wasn't much to it. But if you were playing Half-Life Alyx and using the way that you manipulate the world, grabbing objects from a distance, pulling them to you, even grabbing objects and then letting them go, like you could leverage that for like the Force thing. And then there's even a time where there was an enemy coming at me. I didn't know what to do, so I picked up a board off the ground with two hands, bashed it over its head. Did nothing, it just broke, but you could see the potential for a lightsaber. So I think VR done right is when they are making it a game. It just happens to be in a virtual reality space. Same thing with the new, I don't know too much about it, but there's that new Batman Arkham Shadows coming out. The other Batman VR game, you just stand in one spot and then you can like look around and manipulate. And then you move by looking somewhere and then like teleporting to it. So it's not like real true movement, whereas Half-Life Alyx is real true movement. But there's the other thing too. When I'm playing Half-Life Alyx, when I'm turning, and this is something that you can either choose to do or not to do. I turn in place physically to make it more immersive that I am in that environment. And then I use the joystick to move forward. So it's like if I need to turn and look somewhere, I am using my body and then using the joystick whereas you could just play where you're just moving with the joystick. Let's see. Anyway, that's so much fun. I'll probably beat that soon. And then I think that's it, because I didn't play SVC Chaos yesterday. That was the day before when I said I beat it with Guile. That's about it. So I didn't really do too much yesterday. Let's look at some news. Excuse me. Share this tab. Interesting stuff here. SAG-AFTRA union declares strike against video game companies starting on Friday. So, the Screen Actors Guild. So, remember there was a strike before, wasn't there? Like last year, but for film and stuff. So, American Federation of Television Radio Artists Labor Union announced on Thursday that union members who work on video games will be going on strike effective July 26th. Let's see. SAG-AFTRA has been negotiating for more than a year and a half with a bargaining group that includes Activision Productions, Blind Light, Disney, Character Voices, Electronic Arts, Epic Games. Yeah, we get the point there. So here's my first immediate thought. This, when it comes to video games, this strike has to do with actors for performance capture and voice work. Like, but I guess, and I don't know how to articulate this. There are people developing games under crunch, under horrible work conditions. And like, if I was someone, making a video game, a lot of times the performance capture, the voice stuff, that's like last that I worry about. So while I think everyone deserves a fair, like, take on how they should be treated in their workplace in terms of compensation and stuff like that, and rights, like, I guess the big deal here is with AI. One, I think AI over time, people are going to kind of get over it. Like, so many things we get over today. Like, for instance, giving out your phone number to places, or, things that in the past were such a big deal, but now it's not. Or having your photo taken to put on an ID card. I think, AI is one of those things that over time we're going to get over. But for me, I just find it interesting that, so we saw with Activision, right? It's Activision Blizzard, all the unions that have formed, that Microsoft is like, yeah, do whatever you want, form those unions. And I think that's where then there's a disconnect, because we have the people come together to make these games, but then you have voice actors or motion capture actors wanting to go on strike, and then you have the, like, developers forming unions. So obviously there's things that need to get worked out here. So I guess going back to my main takeaway with this is, okay, it's great that we're now seeing all this happen, but I feel like in order for the video game industry to get better on the development side, we need to be also doing this for the people, on the ground floor, QA team, developers, etc. Ultron's saying, yeah, this feels odd to me. The more I think about all the people who endure crunch, don't think the actors ever have to endure that. Yeah, that's what I think is really weird. And also the video game developing professional community is much younger than the acting community. Acting community has been around for so long in terms of, like, in a professional capacity where there's unions and guilds, etc. And the video game developers are still in the infancy. So it's almost like, hey, SAG-AFTRA people who work on video games, let's help also the ground floor people. Because I think if developers are in a better spot, it's going to easily put other people in the industry in a better spot. If developers are in a good spot, and then voice actors are going to be in a good spot. So, but at the same time, Midnight Hatter, actors don't care about anyone but themselves. Yeah, and that could be what it is. It could just be because I don't know. And then, yeah, an actor's perspective on what's going on versus a video game enthusiast perspective. So I don't know. And this is the other sad thing about this, like how much it, because again, they're trying to achieve something noble, but how much of that are video game publishers not going to care and be like, well, we can't get this person to performance capture this, we'll get someone else, or we'll have someone in the studio do it, like yeah, like I know video games development, like early on, they would grab anyone they could in the studio to like fill in for stuff. There's even this Double Dragon game in the early 2010s where they had people in the studio that never sung before sing for some of the tracks on the album because they're trying to give an 80s style soundtrack. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. So let's see how that plays out because I'm curious if we're going to start seeing games get delayed or whatever. Whereas with the film industry, didn't we see a lot of movies get delayed? Actors couldn't market or promote their films because they were on strike, and that was part of the ad. So yeah, really curious to see. Okay, and it's you know what, and it's another thing. Like I get the strike thing. That's very important to do. I think, like if you want to stand up for yourself, but it affects so many other people. Not saying I know the answer. All right. So this is pretty neat. I didn't look at it too much. And I don't know if there's more than this. I just picked up the first thing. This doesn't spoil anything. This is some leaked gameplay. Leaked. A controlled leak, probably. Just showing some Star Wars Outlaws, and it looks fun. Even with those videos that came out, apparently to some people it was underwhelming, and I would say it's exactly what I would figure. I mean, it's the best looking Star Wars game in my opinion in terms of gameplay mechanics. Although my brother did say Jedi Survivor was really good. Now, I didn't like Fallen Order, but he did say Jedi Survivor is better, much better. So I might have to check that out. Anyway, I'm getting these guys some free promotion. Let me skip ahead. But to me, I don't think there's many good Star Wars games. I mean, there are fun Star Wars games, but it's almost like in the past they did really good with Star Wars games, and then just recently they haven't. Um, so to me, this looks like a good direction to go in with these Star Wars games. Yeah, I love this ship sequence. So it's probably like the loading screen, but at the same time, how long would it take to go through the atmosphere of a planet to get into space? So it's kind of like, I dig it. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, not much more on that. Mina Hatter saying it's nice to get a video game that's not as Jedi centric. That is a really good point. I think that is the other thing here that's really cool about this is just seeing it more from that other perspective where you see the guns, the shooting. Actual flight is part of the mechanics throughout. So I like that it like encompasses a lot of the things that make Star Wars Star Wars. And we could come across Force stuff, maybe a Jedi here or there, like later on, like more of like conversational, but I doubt there would be lightsaber combat. There shouldn't be. Um, so let me pull up some other news here. So Netflix lowers budget for BioShock movie adaptation. Well, we have been saying that anything should be lowering their budget, so that could be a good thing. I mean, maybe these companies are realizing, yeah, we could do things with lower budgets. This doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Also, just by looking at stuff like, Fallout 76 and The Last of Us, these companies do know that, and you could actually add Halo for the comparison. These companies have to, it can work by staying true to the source material. So if they can lower the budget, I mean, I wonder if they're like, okay, let's stay true to the source material. Oh, we can lower the budget to do that. Let me see real quick if this happens to go into more detail on that. Let's see. They elaborated that as a result, the BioShock movie will feature a more personal point of view as opposed to a grander big project, which for what BioShock is trying to evoke, yeah, you could start off with something more personal, kind of like lean into the horror side of it. And then I guess maybe the grand scale, let's see, the grander big project could just mean like the world BioShock is in and like what that means for the story. So they probably won't go that deep, but still be a story set there. So um, let's see. I mean, I'm all for lowering budgets if it means something can still be made well and then be affordable to just continue to do that. But I don't know. We will see. I'm not a huge BioShock fan though, so I kind of don't care. but it's good for video games if you can do adaptations that are true to the source. So I'm down. Devil May Cry, why I love. Oh man, I've been meaning to play the latest Devil May Cry that came out like 5 years ago, and I just haven't. Um, but okay, Epic Games reveals new plans for mobile gaming. Oh, new plans as opposed to their plans. Will swerve mobile platforms. It claims are rent collectors. Wait, hmm, what does that mean exactly? Let's see what that means because I'm curious. Fortnite maker, blah blah blah. Okay, we read that. The company outlined its new strategy in a blog post and explained it will support marketplaces that offer all developers a great deal while ending partnerships with some others, including the Samsung Galaxy Store. Today, we're announcing that Epic plans to bring our own mobile games, including Fortnite, to other mobile stores that give all developers a great deal. And we will be ending distribution partnerships with mobile stores that serve as rent collectors. Oh, okay. I see what they mean by rent collectors. It's almost like, okay, you want to have your game on the store? Sure, it's going to cost this much. Come on, bring this over. Whereas I guess Epic is able to distinguish between other storefronts that maybe are a lot more reasonable, where the idea is, yeah, get on a store, get seen, get known, and then, a little chargeback. So it's neat that Epic is doing that because that's like looking out for the little guy. There could be some intent behind it, but I think it really just has to do with dealing with Apple, their closed garden. Um, and how some stores too, they restrict or limit how you can sell things or have services. Excuse me. So, hey, at least Epic is doing something. Sadly, Fortnite and our other games will be leaving the Samsung Galaxy Store in protest of their new policy of blocking side loading. Interesting. So, wait, Samsung block. I mean, I have a Samsung phone and I side load all the time, but I guess they mean they don't want people to have to side load. So I get that. Maybe that's what they mean. So interesting. I don't know what to take of it or make of it or what to take of it, but if they're looking out for the little guy, that's pretty cool. Okay, and then yeah, another little article about the unionization, that Microsoft went through suddenly. Um, yeah, let's see how that. Hopefully, that all comes out positive in the end. I mean, I think it's cool that you're seeing news articles about developers talking about unionization efforts instead of like complaining about conditions, right? So at least that is something. Paradox Interactive profits dropped 90% due to Life by You cancellation. So yeah, I wasn't too familiar about this Life by You, but Paradox Interactive has all those crazy strategy games that usually make them a lot. So it's unfortunate that that looks like something new and interesting. Yeah, got canceled and affected them. Okay, Gran Turismo devs sorry for unintended issue blasting cars into space. Huh, hilarious, but unintended. Huh. Funny. I haven't played Gran Turismo 7 in a while. I think the last Gran Turismo I played, maybe it was 7. Whatever you could have done with a PSVR. So, okay, Raid exclusive coming to Pokemon. Some more of that Epic news stuff. PSVR 2 app to release on Steam August 6th. That is awesome. So, even though I got my Quest 3 mainly because of the announced games coming, Gundam, Batman, plus the stuff they have, it is so good that Sony did this. This is another example of going in the right direction. What more can people get out of this now? That's very cool. Can't wait to see. Yeah, some more Strike stuff. Legacy of Kain remasters spotted at Comic-Con? Huh. Let's see about this because this and I wonder what games. There's so many different games in the series. Not like so many, but like how they evolved from PlayStation and PC to like Dreamcast. Um. Oh, interesting. 1 and 2 remastered. That's probably the way to start. It's just I see this and I think Soul Reaver. Um, Very cool. So I don't think there's then been any official news yet, but I know people have been asking about this forever, and this can kind of give an opportunity to kind of revitalize that IP because it is a unique IP, and then make more games in it. So, very cool when stuff like that can happen. So very neat. Oh, and it's cool looking at the chat, like Ultronomous, Jamkill X. So seeing that, yeah, we already have people excited about it. That's a good sign. So maybe we'll finally finish the story too. Yeah, that's the other big thing, the interesting thing about these games is it was really cool on story, even though it was also really good with combat and action, especially the later games. I really liked those a lot more. Okay, let's see. What are some other things going on here? Yeah, because out of Comic Con, even though it is Comic Con, I would expect some cool new video game news, but not too much came out of that. Yeah, this strike thing, wow, whole bunch on there. You know what? Let me talk about some other stuff real quick. So I have been watching David Jaffe play Marvel Rivals, and it's interesting because he said he never got into or never even really played much of Overwatch. That's what I'm trying to say. To say that he doesn't know then if Marvel Rivals is really just more of Overwatch. So that's the one thing that he can't really comment on. But from watching him play, it just looks just like Overwatch. But he made a good point. He says for him, it's the IP. He's a big comic book person. He is older. He's in his 50s. And so I think a lot of his, growing up, or a lot of the stuff he got into is based on comics. Like he loves Marvel. So then he plays Marvel Snap all the time. So Marvel Rivals, I think, if it's successful, it's going to be for that. It's going to be for something for Marvel fans to play. Because looking at it, it's like I wouldn't play that. I mean, it looks neat, but it also the art design, and it's kind of like I forget if we were talking about this yesterday, another show where it's like sometimes you can't have designs too realistic. You have to have some sort of interesting abstraction done to kind of make it stand out and not have the uncanny valley effect. Although, while I think the art style looks really good for Marvel Rivals, I can't wrap my head around it thinking of comic books. Like, shouldn't you leverage what it looks like in a comic book? Maybe do some cell shading so you don't have to worry about the stylistic approach that way. You can do it from like a comic book style. Because sometimes I can't even recognize what a Marvel character is. Anyway, I hope it's successful. I think the real release isn't until 2025. So for me, I'm like, people aren't going to care by then, but it's Marvel. The other thing I want to add is a really cool announcement. So I've talked about this controller, the Vader 3 Pro, which is like my favorite controller. I think this is the best controller that exists, even with its price compared to ones that are more expensive. It's mainly that D-pad. And I don't know if I've talked about it on here, but like when I'm having to do quarter circles, like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but like it has that mechanical click so I can hear it 1, 2, 3 if I'm doing anyway. That company, FlyDigi, is sending me the new Vader 4 Pro and the Apex 4. So they're their high-end controllers. So I am happy to say that I'm going to be doing reviews on those soon. Most likely the reviews are going to be good because I already know they're good. I'm just glad that I get them because they can be expensive and I can't just buy controllers all the time. So that's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to showing off what those controllers could do. Because yeah, the Vader 4 Pro doesn't come out. You can buy it overseas right now, but it doesn't come out on Amazon until August. I think it's 10th or 20th. So luckily I'll have it before then so I can kind of tell everyone how good these controllers are. The difference between the two is the Apex 4 has an LCD screen on it and the Vader 4 doesn't, but they've added a new thing where around the analog stick is a tension ring, adjustable tension ring on the fly. And I've seen some good examples where that can actually work in games. So that'll be neat to talk about when I get to that. But I think that's about it. Hey, saving money on controllers. Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, it's not like one should be buying multiple controllers all the time. Yeah, you need one for each person that's going to play a multiplayer game. But I'm then for myself, I've bought like 5 or 6. So Anyway, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. That was a lot of fun. Waking up last minute and then doing this show that kind of wakes me up. Yeah, and I think that's about it. I think this SAG after news is going to be the bigger deal for now. So, I'd say if anything, below in the comments, post anything you think you're going to play this weekend. I I don't know. I think, yeah, it's mainly I'm gonna try to finish Half-Life Alyx. I think that's the main thing, and play some more SVC Chaos. I really think that's my weekend. Um, and if any other games come up, sure, I'll play. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, always a lot of fun. But talk to you later. I'll see you.